And we're live. Awesome. So hello, everybody. My name is Cassidy Bast, and I am the Director of Career Development and Marketing for Remax, Crest, and Masters. Today, for our second episode of Outstanding Agents, Outstanding Results, I am really excited to introduce to you Brandon G. Moore. Brandon, welcome.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
Great. Thanks so much for joining me today.
Yeah, no worries. It's a pleasure to be on the live broadcast with you.
Well, awesome. Well, I know that you are going to have some really great insight for us today. You were the Rookie of the Year for our company a few years ago. You're in the MLS Medallion Club. And if I'm not mistaken, it looks like you're on track to be perhaps in the President's Club, which is the top 1% of realtors coming up. So
last year I was top 1%. I was President's Club in 2019.
You were in 2019. Amazing.
I was, yeah. Yeah, it was something that I never expected. And even getting into Medallion my first 2 years, my first year of business being Medallion, it's something I never expected to be in the top 10%, let alone the top 1%. So, this year I am on track. I am on the borderline, so I've got to definitely work hard for the rest of the year. No taking any time off. So I'm sure I'll get there though. So
that's so awesome. Congratulations. That's amazing. You're obviously doing a lot of things right, which we're going to be talking about here today.
Good. Thank you.
So my first question for you is, I know that you hustle, and I know that you have to hustle to get to where you are.
Sure.
Tell me about what that looks like. What's a typical day in the life of Brandon G. Moore? Do you have a routine that helps set you up for success? Tell me about that.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I've definitely got a routine in place, for my day, especially my weekdays. It's not perfect. It's not ideal. It's not where I want it to be. Pretty much my day starts off, I wake up, obviously I try to wake up as early as possible. And this is something that I'm working on. But I'm anywhere between 7 and 9 a.m. Depends how tired I am that day. And I try to
probably work late too the night before sometimes, right?
I try to go to bed at the same time every day around 10, but it's tough. The life of realtor, I'm sure you're aware. I wake up, but somewhere between 7 and 9 a.m. First thing I do is I quickly eat a breakfast, to just grab some oats, something that's super quick. Go for a walk with this little guy right here, sleeping right now. So I go for an hour walk. My day starts, around 9:30. I'm at my computer desk. Pretty much my day from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. is just, I'm on the computer. I'm emailing clients. I'm emailing them listings, emailing potential clients. I'm pretty much on the computer the whole day. Just doing like offers or sending offers or organizing offers, things like that. It's just pretty much on the computer from around 9 to around 3 o'clock. And what I do is I take this guy out for another walk again for about another hour. And then in the evening around 4 or 5 o'clock is when I head to the office, and that's where I make my follow-up calls. And the follow-up calls is, it's about, I spend 2 or 3 hours on all my follow-up calls, and that's where really things are happening. That's where all my business is coming in, right? I'm in the office from around 4 to 5 to about 7. Then I head home, have dinner, and then just try to start relaxing around 9 o'clock. So, pretty much, unless, obviously life of realtor, you're going to have appointments throughout the day. You'll have some showings. Sometimes you'll have showings in the evening, or you've got to, go bring keys somewhere or things like that. But yeah, during the weekday, that's kind of my schedule. And then on the weekends, unfortunately, open houses are banned right now. But every Saturday and Sunday, I'd be doing open houses from 2 to 4, or sometimes be 12 to 2 and 3 to 5, depending on how many listings I have at the time. Nowadays it's just pretty much the last couple weekends where we've had no open houses, I've been just showing 3 to 5 clients, taking them out throughout the day, and it's been a long weekend days lately. So.
Busy market right now, so you gotta roll with it. Yeah. That's great. Tell me about what the best thing is that you've done or continue to do to generate future business.
I think for me, my first 2 years in business, pretty much all my business came from open houses. I, meet people. I would do other agents' open houses. I do my parents' open houses, just meet people, get their contact information, work with them, send them listings. And yeah, my first year I did 22 deals. It was 2017. It was, it was a hot condo market, and worked with many, many first-time home buyers. And yeah, my first 2 years it was all open houses, and even to this day I'm continuously generating business from open houses. Obviously not in the last couple of weeks as they've been suspended, but yeah, that's definitely one way where I'm continuously generating business is meeting people at open houses. I definitely have a lot of lead generation that I do as well. Any phone inquiry on a listing, or any inquiry on a listing, or any type of phone call, any number that I come across, any person that I talk to pretty much throughout the day, I'm using that. I'm trying to convert that lead into a client, potential client, right? I do pay for lead generation, and I've had many different lead generations throughout the years. And a lot of my business this year actually came from REW. So I've spent additional lead generation, extra funds with them in the local area expert and things like that. And I've probably closed 10 deals this year from REW leads. So
wow.
Yeah, I've got a lot of ads out there. I'm sure you've seen a lot of bus benches, bus shelters, trash bins, things like that. I know a lot of agents, they say, oh, this guy's doing really well. He's got all these bus benches out there. I probably haven't gotten, to this day, haven't gotten any business from any of those bus benches. I think that's more for the long term, and for brand awareness for the long term. So yeah, it's all pretty much just from, lead inquiries, phone call inquiries, a few lead gens that I've had here and there. REW is a big one, and open houses. So yeah, that's pretty much where I'm at in terms of lead generation.
That's great. That's great to hear. Thanks for sharing. What systems do you have set up in your business that you feel contribute to your success? I know you got to leverage your time, and systems are important. What does that look like in your business?
For sure. So yeah, I'd say the biggest and best system I've had, and best investment that I've ever spent on, was an app called Pipedrive. Pipedrive is it's a CRM system. It's $400 to $500 a year. Pretty much, I've tried many CRM systems that I was looking for back in 2018, 2017, 2018, and just to, where I'd gather leads, I'd put them in my contact book and I'd forget to call them, right? So Pipedrive, basically what it allows you to do is it inputs your contacts, inputs their contact in there. You can put notes on the client. You can schedule follow-up calls. You can schedule follow-up, tasks to do on certain days. You can schedule emails on that app. And every single phone number I get, whether it's from a listing inquiry, or it's from an REW lead, or it's from an open house, any lead that I'm getting, I'm putting in that Pipedrive. And that Pipedrive, I have, over the last year and a half, I've built it up to about over 500 people in that database that I'm continuously following up on a daily basis. So like I said, where I'm in the office from 4 to 7 or 5 to 7 every night, I've got about 20 to 40 scheduled follow-up calls to make, where that Pipedrive is what's organizing my day, right? So I would have never been able to do what I do without Pipedrive. So yeah, that's definitely by far the biggest system that I have, which is brought me to the success where I am today. So
that's an important tool. Yeah. And I use a CRM, and it's a total game changer. It's an important piece of your business. I just had a follow-up question for you on following up, actually. That's obviously a big part of your business. And, you know, I've looked at sales stats. I use this in one of my career night presentations, that about 2% of sales usually, or the majority of sales, 80% of sales actually happen on the 10th to 12th follow-up with somebody. How much are you following up with people? Like, are you leaving a lot of voicemails? Are you, you know, obviously some people don't get back to you. Do you just kind of keep at it, or what does that look like?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that question just gave me chills right there, because I have experienced this, and you know, it's mentioned by so many successful people, and you never really, like, I've never really you know, paid attention. And I'm sure most people, they hear it, but they don't pay attention to it, because, you know, that is where all my business has been generated. You know, I can show you one day, and you know, some of these clients that I've had, and so many of my clients this year and last year, I've literally had to follow up with them 10, 20 times, you know, where I'm calling them like crazy, emailing them like crazy, nonstop, and then finally getting a hold of them on the 5th call, and then, you know, a couple more calls go on, and on the 10th call, 12th call, you know, I'm leaving voicemails, I'm texting them, I'm emailing them, and this is, you know, through a span of time. This is, you know, over 5 months, 10 months, 12 months. That's where my success has come through, is from the follow up. And you know, when people say the money's in the follow up, and it takes, you know, 5 or 10 no's to get that deal done, that is like the truth right there. You know, I'm continuously following up, and you can see, like, it shows on my Pipedrive a history of all my calls, right? So you'll say, we'll say like November 2nd, left voicemail, November 6th, called them, November 8th, November 15th. And then obviously as time goes on, the less you call them. But, you know, over a year span, after your 15th or 20th call, you finally got a hold of them, and they're ready to buy at that time. And they said, oh yeah, sorry, I missed all your calls. I was just busy. I wasn't ready. You know, it had nothing to do with, you know, they didn't want to answer your call. It's just they weren't ready. And some people don't like talking to you when they're not ready, right? Because when you initially had that initial conversation with them, when you met them that first time, they were all excited. They were telling you what they're looking for and things like that. And then they just ghost you. And then what most people do is, you know, after the first or second call, they don't answer. They completely give up, right?
Yeah.
But like, yeah, it's unbelievable how many of my deals is literally from the 10th or 12th or 15th phone call where I've finally got them as a client and sold them a property a month or two later.
Wow. So, I think that's, such an important lesson for anyone in a sales role. So
100%. And that's where Pipedrive helped me out. So
that's great. Yeah, lots of persistent, lots of hustle for sure. So kind of like to piggyback on that note, rejection. You obviously faced some rejection, or maybe you've faced a lot of rejection in these calls and that sort of a thing.
Of course, yeah.
What do you do to keep yourself kind of uplifted and able to brush it off and move on?
Yeah, I mean, you know, rejection is tough. Like, even for me, when I'm making these calls, I'm you know, every day, it's not easy for me, even at this point where I am today. It's still like that fear of getting rejected sucks, right? There's no question about it. You know, all you can really do is understand that it's going to happen and just try and make yourself feel better. So when I first started these follow-up phone calls on a daily basis, you know, in the evenings, I started off with a friend, and he was a mortgage specialist. And we would do the calls together. We'd sit in the same room. And he was getting a reject. He was just starting his career being a mortgage specialist. And we would do the calls together, and, you know, he didn't have that database that I had of warm leads, more on the warm side of leads. He was pretty much cold calling. He was cold calling leads that I've had in my contact book from you know, a year or two ago. He was cold calling leads from his bank. You know, they'd give him, you know, a contact list of leads. So he would actually get rejected a lot harder than I would. And, we would just laugh about it, right? I mean, it's tough to have someone yell at you, or it's tough to have someone get pissed off at you for calling. And, I think, doing it with somebody is better than doing it by yourself, because you get by yourself, you get sad, you sit down, you stop, but if you're doing it with a friend, so we would just laugh at it for so long. We did it together for months and months and months. And, yeah, I mean, still to this day, I have people yelling at me, and, happens left. The colder the lead, the more chance of it happening, right? So you always want to try and keep the leads warm, right? So by continuously following up.
Right.
And so yeah, we no longer do calls together. He's just built his business so well, he doesn't need to do those follow-up calls anymore. But yeah, no, we would just laugh at it together, right? So
water off a duck's back, right?
yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Now, obviously, your parents are two of the most iconic agents in the Burnaby market. You've got quite a real estate family. What did you learn from your parents' success that has made an impact in your success today?
For sure. So I know a lot of people say, Brandon G. Moore is very successful because he's got the two best parents in the Burnaby market to work with. He's lucky. He's got it. He's successful because he's got parents. That's not very true. My business comes, this entire year of, doing 40 plus deals, all came from straight hustle. Like, it didn't come from, obviously having successful parents help. And where they've helped me at was, doing things properly, writing offers with the proper clauses. And, with my dad being the president of the real estate board, the biggest thing for him was, not getting sued, not getting in trouble, not getting your license taken away or suspended, not going to real estate jail. So where they've helped me was kind of just to do things properly, and obviously, give me the knowledge whenever I've got questions, I can easily just ask them, regards to the offer, or in offer situations, or on, certain questions on listings and things like that. So that's definitely a huge success in where they've helped me.
Yeah.
Generating business, I don't think they've really helped me at all. In the beginning, maybe they've thrown me a lead here and there kind of thing. But I think that the business I've generated just came from straight hustle. I mean, you see people all the time where their parents are successful realtors, and they're not even in the medallion club, right? Let alone being president's club. And that's what differentiates me from all the other realtors out there, is I'm ready to hustle. I'm willing to get out of my comfort zone, continuously, right? And obviously I at the end of the day, when I'm tired, I've had a long day, all I want to do is chill, I still make those follow-up calls, and that's what you have to do. But yeah, that's kind of where my parents have helped me out in my business. So
some mentorship, it sounds like. Yeah.
for sure.
So with all this success that you've had, obviously with success comes a lot of failure too, and that's often what you don't see. So what mistakes have you made along the way?
So the biggest mistake is coming back to what I've mentioned before, is not following up. So the reason why I was looking through so many CRM systems and figuring out this whole Pipedrive thing that I've gotten was because I would not follow up, right? I'd get someone's contact information from an open house. I'd send them some listings. They didn't reply to my email, and I would be like, okay, well, I gotta find more people, right? Look, I was, number one, I was scared. I was scared to call them and follow up. Number two, I didn't have a system that was telling me to follow up with them, right? So the biggest mistake, I would say, is getting back to, again, like we were discussing a few minutes ago, is not following up with that potential lead or that potential client, right? I have definitely, another mistake is blown out a lot of money into wasteful advertising and things like that, but that's another story. So
Yeah. Well, that's great. as a successful, top producing agent, I would imagine there's probably questions that you're kind of always searching for answers on. What area are you currently working on improving on your business right now?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I've definitely got, my strong points, when it comes to following up and hustling leads and things like that. But I think for me, my next step is to just figure out more systems when it comes to the actual business side of things. Social media, that's a huge potential where you can have a whole nother side of business. And like, I'm barely on social media every day, right? I've got an Instagram page, I've got an Facebook page, but I'm not really too active. And I think, live streaming and being more active on social media is definitely somewhere where I want to get to. Things like MailChimp, sending out monthly emails and things like that. So I don't have to follow up as often.
Yeah.
Just building the actual business side of things and getting things going on that end is kind of my weak spot and where I want to.
Yeah. Some more automation. That. Yeah. Staying top of mind, all of that. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. Right. Great. I got a bonus question here for you. I didn't put this in your list, but maybe I'm hoping you can answer it. What impact has Remax had on your business, and why do you choose to be with Remax Crest?
Yeah, I mean, Remax, obviously it's the most well-known company, across wherever, probably the world, across the country, across the continent. Just that brand name, for me, myself, I've got a credible name in the Burnaby area already. I've got that G more, so people more so trust me on that end. But in addition, I think that Remax brand, that credibility, that trustworthiness of working with a Remax agent is definitely helped in me close more deals, I would say. I mean, not necessarily, I don't necessarily get leads from being with Remax, but it's definitely either helped, having a potential client and, or put a lead and converting that lead into a client, or converting that client to a deal. That's where the Remax brand, where I have believed has helped me. And and I think another huge thing with Remax is the signs, right? On a condo sign where you see 6 or 7 agents, I've gotten so many listings from a seller calling my sign over all the other 6 signs that are on that post. Mm-hmm. In addition to having, I think it's very important to have your face on the sign, but I think it's that Remax brand that just stands out compared to all the other signs. So,
right. Yeah.
Those are kind of the two points where I think Remax has helped me the most personally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Building that credibility, trust in converting that lead over to a client and just being that for sale sign people call.
Yeah, so, that's right. Yeah, it just tips the scales in your favor when you're dealing with people, right?
Yeah, and then I think as well, when you have, ads out there like, my bus benches, my people know you're a realtor, right? You see so many, you drive around so many bus benches and there's realtors on there, but you don't know if they're a notary, you don't know if they're a lawyer, you don't know, because it's, some no-name brand. When you have Remax, okay, that guy's a realtor.
That's right. Say no more. Yeah.
I don't have any slogans on my ads or anything. I don't say, call me for your selling or buying. It's just my name, Remax, phone number, top 1%. That's it.
That's all you need.
So
that's awesome. I mean, we're so happy to have you with our organization, and thank you so much for all the insight you shared today. That was great. I think really, really important, topic that, follow up and all of this stuff that we discussed. So really appreciate it. Thanks so much, Brandon.
Yeah, no worries at all. Glad to be here.
And for those of you that are watching, our next episode of Outstanding Agents, Outstanding Results is going to be next Thursday, December 10th. And we have Nancy Chi joining us. Nancy is a Medallion Club agent with her office on West 7th Street here. So really looking forward to having a conversation with her about success. So I hope to see you there. And once again, thanks so much, Brandon.
You're welcome, Cassidy.
Have a good one. Take care.
Bye-bye. You too.